Paid to Save Hangout. Glad to see we had so many people on this live broadcast tonight, all the way from my buddy Jack Holian out in Orlando, Florida, all the way up to Eric Francois in Northern California. We are coast to coast tonight. And for those of you who have not previously met, my name is Todd. I'm going to be your host for this broadcast. And I do want to jump right into this without a lot of preamble and just give you a real good understanding as to who our company is, where we're going, and more importantly, why you might want to participate. What we're doing is historic. It has never, ever been done before. We are, in fact, the most radical, innovative thing to hit the mobile movement to date. But we are a savings company. We're all about saving the consumer money. Our company's based in Marietta, California. We commenced operations in 2013 March. So we're now about 17 months old. We're debt-free, already profitable. But the thing that is creating the Pay to Save revolution is, in fact, our mobile app. And I'm going to spend quite a bit of time on that tonight and give you a real understanding of why that's relevant, why that's significant in today's marketplace. And it kind of helps know where you're going if you know where you've come from. And if you were to start a business 100 years ago, let's pretend it's the year 1914, you're looking for ways to reach consumers, how would you do that? Well, you'd probably embrace the technology of the time. And that was the newspaper. And if you were somebody who had gotten involved in the newspaper business, 100 years ago, you could have made a lot of money. In fact, some of you may or may not recognize this castle. It's one of the most famous castles in the world. It was built by Randolph Hearst, a gentleman who got involved with the newspaper business up in Northern California, back in the early 1900s. He embraced the technology of the time, the platform of the time, and he cashed in a pretty major way. Well, nothing ever stays the same after newspapers. It was then radio. That was the new way to reach consumers. And a lot of companies, if you'd embraced this platform, you could have made a lot of money. A lot of you have probably heard of a company called Westinghouse. Today they're a household name. Back then, no one ever heard of them, but they embraced the radio industry, cashed in a pretty major way. Well, then it was television. That was the new way to reach consumers. ABC, NBC, CBS, billion-dollar companies were forged, millionaires were created. After that, it was the personal computer. Now, this was the new way to reach consumers. A lot of you may have heard of companies like Google and Facebook, and we like to think of these companies as technology companies. But the truth is they're advertising companies. If you think about Google, they disguise themselves as a search company, but they make all their money doing what? Selling ads. About $25 billion a year. If you look at Facebook, we like to think they're a social networking company. But the reality is they don't make one dime because we're posting pictures of grandma. They make all their money doing what? Selling ads. About $7 billion a year in sales. Well, if you're going to advertise and you start analyzing these avenues, are these effective avenues in today's marketplace? Well, first and foremost, let's look at print media, newspapers, yellow book advertising. Is this a good place to go? No. Print media is dying out. It's obsolete. I think everybody knows that. What about radio? Is that an effective way to reach consumers? Not really. You're competing against Pandora, iPod, satellite radio, things of this nature. How about television? Most of you at home, you own a DVR. You record your shows and you fast forward through the commercials. And then finally, if you think about using the internet as a way of reaching consumers, that's now being replaced by what? The mobile phone. It's the one device that we have on us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you left for work late this morning and you forgot your wallet, there's a good chance that you thought I can make it throughout the day. But if you left late for work this morning and you forgot your mobile phone, most likely, even if you were late, you're going back to pick up your mobile phone because that's the one device we can't live without. So what's the one thing that all the people in this crowd have in common? And the answer is a mobile phone. Every single person, they have it on them all the time. And so mobile is the new frontier. This is where your next Google, your next Facebook, your next Mark Zuckerberg, your next Steve Jobs is going to spawn from this mobile marketplace. It's an industry that's literally wide open and open for grabs. And in this presentation, we're going to describe to you how we plan to dominate this mobile space. And there's an opportunity for you to cash in a pretty major way. And that's why whoever invited you to watch our presentation invited you to be here. I do want to cover some stats on mobile, kind of where we are today. If you were to look at the mobile industry, more people will access the internet via a mobile phone this year than they will a personal computer. First time that's ever happened. If I'd have told you 2 years ago this kind of a prediction, if I'd have predicted this to happen 2 years ago, you would have debated if I'd been smoking something. I mean, it just didn't seem possible. It just didn't seem plausible. And today it's an economic reality. How about this one? 69% of all people sleep with their mobile phone. And I always joke, you can't get 69% of all people to sleep with their own spouse. but they sleep with their mobile phone. That's the world we live in. And this one, 75% of all smartphone users, that's 3 out of 4 folks, use their phone during the shopping experience to make buying decisions, which means that if you are not communicating to your consumers via a mobile phone, you are building in yesterday's economy, not today's, and certainly not tomorrow's. And so even PricewaterhouseCoopers, big, gigantic consulting firm, says, look, if you get involved with mobile, big things can happen. It's an industry with triple-digit growth. And so right now, you happen to be at the very birthing of an entire industry. And if you think about that, why did Bill Gates get so rich? Well, he owns a software company. So what? There's thousands of software companies. What makes his so special? Because he started his software company at the birthing of the computer revolution. How about Mark Zuckerberg? He started his company at the birthing of the social networking revolution. And so 30 years ago, if you wanted to get rich, you had to be in computers. But if I had told you about the computer revolution 30 years ago, it didn't make any sense to you because you hadn't heard of it. It wasn't really a revolution then. It was a revolution to those who were in the know. But most people were kind of oblivious as to what was happening. Then 20 years ago, if I'd have brought up the internet revolution, you just didn't quite understand what I'd be talking about. 10 years ago, if I'd have brought up the social networking revolution, again, you'd have no idea what I was talking about. And today, we're sitting here at the birthing of the mobile revolution, and in particular, the incentivized sharing revolution, which we're going to talk about throughout this presentation. But getting ahead is about being in front of not just a company, but an entire industry, and that's where you happen to sit. The $500 billion global marketplace is literally up for grabs, and here's our plan to basically go out and dominate that space. Now, for those of you who have not seen our mobile app as of yet, this is what it looks like. You can download it for free from the Google Store or the Apple Store. The purpose of the app is to show you how to save money all over town. So whether you're looking for 2 pizzas for the price of 1, like my girls are doing tonight, we're having pizza at our household, and actually send a text. Say, don't forget to use the mobile app. Go down to Giovanni's. You can buy 1 pizza, get 1 free, or buy 1 and get a pound of chicken wings free. And so this is on our mobile app, right here in my local marketplace. So whether you're looking to get half-price dry cleaning, by the way, last night we went to Froyo-Land and got free frozen yogurts. That's a place here locally that's on our mobile app. And so it's going to show you how to save money all over town. At our conference coming up August 8th, 9th, and 10th, we're going to be making some pretty major announcements at that event. Again, August 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we're going to begin to stream coupons from the big box retailers. Whether you're looking for discounts from Walmart, PetSmart, Kmart. I saw one of the offers today. It's $120 off an Android tablet at Costco. Getting 50% off, at a Bed Bath & Beyond. Just 25% off over at Dick's Sporting Goods, this kind of stuff. We'll have that on our mobile app. We'll begin to stream Amazon and those kind of things on our mobile app. And anytime, it's just a better way of saving money because the discounts are right there at your fingertips. You don't have to go clip coupons like grandma used to do. You don't have to go buy these vouchers in advance like you do with Groupon and then print the thing off, and heaven forbid, I forgot it at home, now I can't get the deal. Forget all that. We put it right on the mobile app, download it for free. Nothing can be simpler as far as saving money goes. Now, this in itself is not what makes us revolutionary. What makes us revolutionary is that we have a program called incentivized sharing. And the reality is you've been doing it your whole life. You just never got paid for it. Have you ever told a friend about a good movie or a good restaurant? No, of course. Did you get a check from the business owner afterwards? No. Would you like to have? Well, heck yeah. Hook a brother up. Now you literally can. With our company, you can simply share the mobile app. People can download it for free. As they're saving money all over town, you're making money. And every time you make money, we'll drop that money right on the Pay to Save, debit Visa card for you. And, a lot of people dread Mondays, but at Paid to Save, that's payday. People in our company are saying, TGIM, thank goodness it's Monday because it's payday. And so we're tapping into the power of word-of-mouth advertising. And everyone knows that word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising known to man. Now, there's some people that have, some companies have cashed in on the word of mouth. They, put together a sharing program. Please go out and share this with your friends. And one of those companies was Facebook. And they basically said, hey, tell your friends who tell their friends who tell their friends. Well, through this process, Facebook got 1.1 billion people to join social networking. The company cashed in for $104 billion. They're currently doing $7 billion a year in advertising. And when you think about that, what would Facebook be worth if the 1.1 billion people who belong to it defriended Mark Zuckerberg tomorrow? I mean, how much money would his company do next year in sales? And the answer is none, exactly none, because advertisers don't care about technology. They care about eyeballs. That's why Super Bowl commercials cost so much. So it's the people that make the company valuable, not the technology. So how did those 1.1 billion people end up at Facebook? And if you recall, it was us. You told your friends who told their friends who told their friends who told their friends, and 1.1 billion people ensued. So my question is that Facebook cashed in for $104 billion based on the efforts of you and me and bringing all of our friends. How much of that money did you and your family receive? And again, the answer is zero, none. And I hope at some level that ticks you off. And once that happened, understand it was like blood in the water. I mean, Twitter did it, LinkedIn did it, Groupon did it, Pinterest did it, Living Social did it, Angry Birds did it, Instagram did it. You cannot download a mobile app today that does not want to immediately invite all of your friends via the social networks. Why? Because they're cashing for billions, they're cashing for millions, while most people are wondering, how am I going to pay my bills? And we believe that the paradigm that is going to dominate the mobile space is the same paradigm that built this thing we call the USA. And that is that if you want we, the people, to share the ideas, then you, the company, need to share the money. And that's what we're doing. We're the first in the entire country to do it. We call it incentivized sharing. And before long, just like social networking, you will know incentivized sharing. And 10 years from now, you will not want a mobile app on your phone that does not generate some kind of a commission check when you share that with somebody else. And we are the pioneers of this entire concept, and you have a chance to be first. And there's 3 phases to our business. Today, we're out there lining up all the local deals, steals, and coupons from businesses all over town. In phase 2, we're going to line up the services. And then in phase 3, we become a mall without walls. We become an Amazon on an app. Every kind of a product that you can think of under the sun will be put on that mobile app. Whether it's jewelry, collectibles, travel, adventure, beauty, wine, grocery, skincare, nutritionals, clothing, on and on and on and on. Cell phone covers, battery chargers, refurbished computers, every kind of a product, great product at an unbelievable price. Every morning when you wake up, there's something new. And anytime anybody buys anything, you're getting paid. And again, as I mentioned a moment ago, this August 8th, 9th, and 10th, we'll actually begin to stream all the big box retailers onto the mobile app, all the names that you know, thousands of different stores. And anytime somebody uses one of those coupons, you get paid, even at the big box retailers. And again, this is called incentivized sharing. Now, there is a company who did a form of incentivized sharing. They didn't pay anybody money. Instead, they gave them a virtual life. And that's a company called Candy Crush. Now, I can hear a lot of you chuckling. Most people are familiar with this game, either because you play it or you've been bombarded by people who do play it. I get invited no less than 7 times a day to come play Candy Crush. I finally asked my middle daughter about 2 months ago, I go, what is this game, Candy Crush? Well, she tells me all about the game, and I'm like, well, it sounds like a terrific game. The question is, how come people keep blowing up my mobile phone to come play this thing? And that's when I just discovered that Candy Crush gives people an incentive. The incentive is that if you invite others, you can get a virtual life inside the virtual game. So, you're playing the game and you're dying. Well, the way to get extra lives is invite people. So if I go out and invite all my friends, oh my gosh, look at all these new lives I got to play inside this game. And because people keep inviting people, Candy Crush got started 2 years ago. They're only 2 years old, but they've gotten 1 billion people to play the game. 93 million people play that game every single day, and the company made over $500 million in profits last year. Not sales, profit. After all expenses paid, $500 million left over. What do you want to buy? And I read something online suggesting they made $500 million last quarter. I mean, this company, Candy Crush, they're crushing it. Now, why are they crushing it? Because we're all out there inviting our friends, invite their friends, because they want to get a virtual life inside the virtual game. Well, guess what? That virtual life doesn't pay my bills. And we got a better idea. We're going to give people Benjamin Franklin's, all right? We're going to pay you money if you'll share our mobile app. Now, something else is going to happen at our conference, August 8th, 9th, and 10th. We're going to introduce some new technology that when you download our mobile app, it's going to ask you right there from the very onset, may we invite all of your friends via the social networks? And if you say yes, we'll pay you a percentage of everything that they buy from here on out forevermore. Now, let's assume that you have just 200 friends on Facebook. And so you download the mobile app. Now, think about this from the consumer's perspective. You're telling me that I can download your mobile app for free? Yes. You're telling me this mobile app is going to save me money all over town? Yes. You're telling me that if I click one button, I can invite every single friend I got on Facebook just like that? Yes. And you're telling me if any of them buy anything, I'm getting paid? Yes. You can hear most people's reaction. Push the damn button. So, that's what's going to happen. So let's say that you invite 200 friends. I'm lowballing the numbers. I understand most of you have more than 200 friends on Facebook. But let's say you have 200 friends. You invite them all, and let's say 20% download our mobile app. That's 40 people who now have our mobile app. If any of them buy anything, you're getting paid. Now, let's say those 40 people all invite their 200 friends. That's 8,000 invites. And let's say that 20% of them download the mobile app. That's 1,600 people. Well, those 1,600 people, they invite their 200 friends, and because they all want to get paid just like everybody else, and 20% download the mobile app. That's 64,000 people who have our mobile app. And if you do that one more time, 64,000 people invite their 200 friends, 20% download the app. That's 2,560,000 people. And if any of them buy anything, you're getting paid. That's what this thing's all about. That's what has never, ever been done in the history of our country. This is the plan that's going to dominate mobile. And you happen to be at the very beginning of not just our company, but the birthing of an entire industry. That's where we sit. That's why whoever invited you to watch this hangout invited you, because big things are happening. Now, what kind of money is involved for doing this? Let me digress, because I was giving you an example based on some technology we're going to introduce August 8th, 9th, and 10th. At the moment, you can't click one button. I'm going to repeat, you can't click one button and invite everybody. Today, you can only give it away one at a time. Well, if you built a 3x10 matrix, which is our compensation plan, so you recruit 3 and they recruit 3, who recruit 3, who recruit 3, and everyone gives away our mobile app to just 20 people each. Now, the mobile app is free, and you can't sell free. And so everyone gives away the mobile app to 20 people each, and they all click on just one thing per week. My girls went and got yogurt last night, and tonight they're getting pizza. That means we've clicked on it twice this week, all right? But they'll say they just click on one thing per week. And if that happens, your potential income is over $1 million per month. Not per year, per month. That's the kind of money that's on the table. Now, this is a hypothetical example. We don't live in a perfect world where 3 get 3, who get 3, who get 3, and everyone gives away the app to 20 people each. That's not the point. The point is, what if some fraction of that came to fruition? There's a tremendous amount of money that's on the table for doing a very simple activity, giving away a free mobile app, sharing it with your friends on Facebook, saving money all over town as they tell people who tell people. You can get in a position to override all that activity, and that can add up to a meaningful amount of money. And meaningful is different for everybody. If just 1/10 of 1% of your potential came to fruition, that's $1,000 a month. And how many of you would turn down $1,000 a month in just residual income? I mean, the truth is, you've already done this for Twitter. You did it for LinkedIn. You did it for Facebook. You did it for Angry Birds and Living Social and Groupon and Pinterest. I mean, these are all companies. We're out there sharing with people all the time. Candy Crush. Oh my gosh, you got to play. They're cashing in. You're just not getting your piece of the pie, and we believe that's wrong. Hey, if you're going to use the people to share your ideas to make money, then you should share the money. That's our concept. Now, when it comes to mobile, one of the hottest selling products with a mobile app happens to be travel. If you were to download a Groupon app, a Travelzoo app, Travelzoo kind of tells you the whole story there. If you were to download a Living Social app, you would see travel, travel, travel. I think the public has an insatiable appetite when it comes to traveling to exotic places for pennies on the dollar. But we put together an unbelievable package here at Pay to Save, where you can go to 4,000 resorts, 85 countries, 7 nights, 8 days, start at rates of $299. And let me give you some specific examples. This is a place called the Wyndham Valley High Resort. It's in Kauai, Hawaii. It's got a full living room, full kitchen, couple of bedrooms. Some of them have hot tubs. This ain't the Motel 6, folks. And you can see here, there's the Expedia in the upper left-hand corner. We took a snapshot of their screen of what they wanted to go stay at this place for 7 nights, 8 days. And it's $2,215.01. If you were to book this exact same place through our DreamShare, you could get it for $499. $499. That's a $1,700 savings. How about the Mayan Palace Riviera? Once again, unbelievable place. This is again a resort, and normally goes for $2,100 for 8 days. You can book this exact same place for $399. Ladies and gentlemen, that's $50 a night. You can't go to a Motel 6 for $50 a night. In California, you can't afford to stay home for $50 a night. And so, go to the resort and run their air. But our discounts aren't limited to resorts. We can have these discounts apply whether you're talking about travel, hotels, flights, rental cars, vacation packages, movies, golfing, sporting events, shows. And I got a good friend, Carrie DeVos. She got her Elton John tickets for half price. Got a hotel room in Vegas for like $37 a night with your own private robe and, I mean, a nice place. She just took a group of people down to Cancun, Mexico. That trip normally goes for $1,400 and something a couple. She got it for $800 and something a couple on our travel portal. Just unbelievable savings. We also give people $50 a month from restaurants.com. I mean, if you eat out, which most people do, here's $50 in food. I mean, you know, I got a place just a quarter mile from me called Rustico's, and go down there, order $50 worth of food, hand them a $25 voucher. We can actually put that right on a mobile app, you know, show it to them on the phone, and they take $25 off the bill. I walk out the door with food for the entire family for $25. I can't take them to McDonald's for $25, but I can take them to a gourmet, unbelievable, the place is packed every single night, you know, line out the door, Rustico's restaurant. Or I can take them to Anthony's or Cosi Sandwich Shop or places all over town, Third Street Smokehouse, where they got unbelievable baby back ribs and pulled pork sandwiches. I mean, so, you know, people love to eat out. They just maybe can't afford it. In our program, we make things affordable. We also give people a series of medical discounts, and Teladoc is the one that's really exciting here. Our Teladoc program, this program has sold over 7 million people in the last few years that have gotten on Teladoc. And Teladoc is telemedicine, and it allows you to access a medical doctor 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you know, right from the comfort of your home. You can pick up the telephone or video conference. It covers the entire family. There are no copays ever. You can call the doctor every day if you wish. There's no additional fee. You can get on the phone with a doctor who can diagnose you right over the phone, write you a prescription drug, send it down to Walgreens or CVS, and within 20 minutes, boom, you're on your way to get your Z-Pack, your antibiotics, your ear stuff, or your inhalers, or whatever the issues might be. It's an unbelievable service. We have a family dental plan that comes from Aetna, big gigantic insurance company that everyone's heard of. And it's not dental insurance, but the effect is the same. You get 50% off when you go to the dentist. Offices all across America. We got a vision plan, pharmacy plan, a prepaid legal insurance type plan that'll cover all kinds of legal things that may come up. You know, again, these are things that apply to everyday families. I mean, we're going out to eat. We got people getting sick. We got to go pick up prescription drugs. The kids got to have their teeth cleaned or their braces or this or that. I got to go pick up the contacts. These are things that apply to everyday lives. We're about saving people money. And so at the end of the day, you know, we're not going to give you a business in a box. We're going to give you a business in an app. And there's two ways to get started with our company. The first is $159 for 1 week of our Dream Share. And then it's $49 a month for all of the services. You get $50 a month in food, the legal plan, vision plan, pharmacy plan, I mean, the travel portals, I mean, all that other stuff I talked about for $49 a month. Now, the more popular package is the $359 package, where you're getting 4 weeks of the Dream Share. And this package, by the way, happens to let you fast track to Ruby, which means you're going to be able to move through our compensation plan a lot faster, which is going to put you in a position to make a lot more money. And we have, you know, roughly probably 80% of our people who get started with this particular package. Now, these packages that are here, it's really kind of a choice as to which one's best for you. Obviously, with the $359, you're getting 4 weeks of the Dream Share. You're buying 3, getting, you know, you're buying 3 but getting 4. So buy 3, get 1 free. But again, it's really up to you as to how you get started. There is a compensation plan incentive for you if you'll go out and retail that $359 package versus the $159. Whoever told you about our business would be just as content if you did the $159, because of that package, that extra money goes to them as opposed to going to you. So it's a personal choice. Now, we do have a G4 program also, and G4 means get 4 and pay no more. So at this point, if you simply refer 4 customers, if you get us 4 people, you know, who want to go on our Ultimate Club package, that's where they're getting the $50 a month in food, and the travel portal, and the Teladoc, and all those services I described. Simply get 4 and you pay no more. So at this point, if you got 4 people on the service, everything from our company is free. Everything. I mean, it's costing you $0.00. The prices are irrelevant if you get 4. And I got a young man in the other room right this moment, Bryce Hentz. You know, he's come on board. He's part of our Young Guns. He got his 4 in 72 hours. You know, so that's a different time frame for, you know, different people. But, you know, it's doable if you want to go after the business. And once you get 4, then at that point you're getting all the food, everything, every month, and it's costing you $0.00. Now, there's a number of ways of making money with our company. You know, we have retail commissions, where if you were to go out and let's say that you were to give away our mobile app to customers, you can make 10% on every transaction. And so if I were to give that mobile app away to my next door neighbor, and they went and got, buy one pizza, get one free, I'm getting 10% of the transactional volume in the form of commission. If I give away that mobile app to 100 people, like Suzanne McLennan Dampf did, she has like 110 personal customers. If those 110 people buy anything, she's getting 10% of the transactional volume right off the top. Well, the same is true if you sign up a merchant. When we went to the Froyo Land last night, the yogurt place, my buddy Gary Hawthorne's the guy who signed that business up. And so every time someone goes in there to get their free frozen yogurt, Gary's actually picking up money every single time on every single customer. He gets 10% of the transactional volume right off the top. And so it's a little bit like Monopoly. I mean, if you own Boardwalk and someone lands on Boardwalk, what's going to happen? Well, they got to pay you. Well, the same is true, if you sign up merchants or give away our mobile app to customers. Now, we also give you the ability to build a team. And if you were to go out there and build a 3x10 matrix, you bring on Manny, Mo, and Jack, those are your first three, and then you help your three get three and help their three get three. If you take that down through 10 levels, you got a potential of 59,049 people on your 10th level. Well, over on the far right, we show you the percentages that we're going to pay out. You got 1% on the first level, then it goes 2, then 3, 5, then 10% on the 10th level. Plus, there's 2 infinity bonuses. Now, if everyone were giving away our mobile app to just 20 customers each, as you can see in that matrix, you could end up with 1,771,000 customers just in 10 levels. And don't forget, there's 2 infinity bonuses where you can actually get paid even deeper. Well, let's translate that to economic opportunity. So you get 3, who get 3, who get 3. Everyone's giving away our mobile app to 20 customers each. And let's assume they're clicking on 2 things per week, like my family did this week. The buy one, get one pizza free and the Froyo Land. And they're clicking on 2 things per week. By the time you got to your 7th level, you're earning over $20,000 per month. By the time you got to your 10th level, you're earning over $1,500,000 per month. Now, I know what you're thinking. You can't live on it, but it's a good start. but on a serious note, I show you this number again because it's a hypothetical. It's for illustration purposes only. It's not that you're going to get 3, who get 3, who get 3, and everyone give away 20. But again, what if some percentage of that came to fruition? If 10% of this can't happen for you, it's 150 grand a month. If 1% happen, it's 15 grand a month. And if 1/10 of 1%, it's 1,500 a month, and just residual income, money coming in month after month, irrespective of your day-to-day efforts. And residual income is a big thing. I mean, you find 2 kinds of people in this world. You got people who got a lot of money, but no time. And you got people who got a lot of time, but no money. And the holy grail is if you can ever figure out how to get both. How do I get money coming in, where I still got the time, to do the things I want to do with the people I want to do them with and kind of live life on my terms. The greatest feeling in the world, people ask me on a daily basis, hey, Todd, what time do you get up? And I always say, well, when I'm done sleeping. I live a life of it feels like 6 Saturdays and 1 Sunday. So it's just a great, great thing to do. Now, we also have what we call bonus money, but I like to call it fun money. And that's where we have car programs of $500 a month. As you progress through our compensation plan, you can eventually get $1,000 a month toward the car or cars of your choice. If you're single, you got $1,000 toward a car. If you're married, I highly suggest getting 2 cars. And then obviously we have a house program where you can have up to $2,000 a month toward the house of your choice. Now here's how you qualify for those bonuses. Let's say that you got Manny, Mo, and Jack. Those are your first 3. And as you can imagine, their first goal is to get 4 because they want to get on that free program, get 4, pay no more. So they go out and get 4 people. Now they're on the free program. Terrific. If you help their 4 get 4, you just got your first car. If you help their 4 get 4, you just got your second car. And if you help their 4 get 4, my gosh, you just got the house. So at this point, you got $2,000 a month in a house payment plus $1,000 a month in a car payment. That's $3,000 per month that you have coming in every month for just cars and homes. And by the way, if you happen to have any student loan debts, we'll also apply that money toward any student loans that you might have as well. Well, then we also have the direct sales bonuses that are paid on those dream shares. As you can imagine, it's summertime. These vacation packages are pretty hot. We're selling them all the time. And so people want to go at the resorts. They want to take their family and go have a good time. Well, you can sell these packages. And some people want 1 week. Some people want to get the the value pack at the 4 weeks. Plus that value pack fast tracks you to Ruby, which is going to move you through our compensation plan a lot faster. And the amount of money that you make on one of these packages is all based on where you're at in the compensation plan. Everyone starts off as a brand partner, make 3 sales, you become a sapphire, make 3 more sales, you become a ruby, then a pearl, then an emerald, and all the way through. And so let me give you an example of how that might look if you went out and retailed that $359 package. Let's say that you bring on Manny, Mo, and Jack. You just made 30 for Manny, 30 for Mo, 30 for Jack. You've made a total of 90 bucks. Now, the magic is going to happen on the fourth person. Because remember, we got that get four, pay no more. And when you bring in the fourth person, let's say that's me, when I retail that package, you're going to make 150 bucks. Okay, so on the fourth person, you made 150 when a package gets retailed. Now, let's assume that I'm going to go out and build a team of people who are retailing this $359 package. Every time they go out there and make a sale, you're going to make 120 bucks. And this is going to happen on the first three of the first three of the first three, infinitely deep. So if, I'm bringing on three people and they retail the package, you just made an additional 360 bucks. So at this moment, what you're looking on the screen is you made $90 over here on the left with Manny, Mo, and Jack, the first three people. You made 150 on me. Okay, so 90 plus 150, that's 240. Then I put in Larry, Curly, and Mo. That's 360. So at this point, you made 600 bucks, and you've only got 7 people. You only brought in 4 from yourself, right? But the retailing of these packages, here's the money that's ensuing. Well, then my team begins to build a team, and their team begins to build a team, and every time a package gets sold, it's another 120, another 120, another 120, another 120, and that just continues infinitely deep. That even if you just had 10 people on your team and they just made one sale, that's 1,200 bucks. So even when your team is small, your team is humble, there's significant money here, and as that team gets bigger and bigger, those 120s can start to happen faster and faster. So it's incredible compensation, incredible money. And by the way, once you get to 9 people, you get a pay raise. Then it goes to 150s. Then you get all the way up to as high as 210s on all those packages being sold. Once you become a double diamond in the company. So it's an incredible company. It's incredible money, and the timing is just absolutely critical here. Everyone dreams they could have been there with Bill Gates at the beginning of Microsoft. I mean, knowing what you know today, what would you have given to have been there? We all dream that we could have been there at the beginning of Yahoo or the beginning of Google. We all dream we could have been in Mark Zuckerberg's dorm room, way back when, in 2004. Well, nothing stays the same. There's new opportunities every day. There's nothing you can do to go back and be in Mark Zuckerberg's dorm room, but you happen to be in the Paid to Save dorm room this very moment. You happen to be at the very beginning of this revolution. And all you got to do at this point is decide, am I a 1, am I a 2, or am I a 3? Do I want to save money, make money, or both? And simply get back with the person who invited you to be here on the Hangout and let them know, where you're at. Are you a 1, 2, or 3? And at a minimum, download our mobile app so you too can start getting paid to save today. And thanks for being with us.